When someone rejects you, your brain processes it exactly the same way it processes a broken bone. Neuroscience proves that social pain isn't in your head, it's in your brain's pain centers, and understanding this changes everything. Right now, you're carrying emotional wounds from rejections that happened years ago. Maybe someone ghosted you. Maybe you got excluded from a group. Maybe you poured your heart into something and got told no, and you tell yourself to get over it. It's not that big of a deal, but your brain disagrees. Research from UCLA using brain scans found that when people experience social rejection, the same neural regions light up as when they experience physical pain. The anterior cingulate cortex and the insula, both critical pain processing centers, activate identically whether you're holding a hot cup of coffee that burns your hand or looking at a photo of someone who rejected you. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between social pain and physical pain, which means every time someone dismisses you, excludes you, or rejects you, your nervous system registers it as a threat to your survival. And that response is destroying your confidence, sabotaging your relationships, and keeping you trapped in fear of judgment. Let's start with why your brain is wired this way. 50,000 years ago, being rejected by your tribe meant death. If you were excluded from the group, you lost access to food, protection, and resources. You'd be alone in a hostile environment with predators, starvation, and no way to survive long-term. So your brain evolved an alarm system to prevent social exclusion at all costs. Social pain became a survival mechanism, just as critical as physical pain. When you touch fire, pain signals scream, "Stop doing that or you'll die." When you face social rejection, the same alarm screams, "Reconnect with the group or you'll die." Psychologists call this the need to belong. It's not a preference, it's a fundamental human drive as powerful as hunger or thirst. Research on infant mammals shows that separation from caregivers triggers the same distress signals as physical injury. Hamster mothers with damaged cingulate cortex regions stop retrieving their pups when they wander off. Infant squirrel monkeys with similar brain damage stop crying when separated from their mothers. The neural circuitry that keeps social bonds intact is literally life or death programming. The problem is, your brain hasn't updated its software. You're living in 2025 where social rejection doesn't actually threaten your survival, but your nervous system is still running on Stone Age code. Someone unfollows you on social media, your brain interprets it as tribal exile. Someone doesn't text back, your alarm system screams abandonment. You get passed over for a promotion, your brain registers it as status loss that could lead to resource scarcity. These responses are massively disproportionate to the actual threat, but your evolutionary wiring doesn't care. It's optimized for survival in environments that no longer exist. Now, let's break down what's actually happening in your brain when rejection hits. Researchers at UCLA conducted experiments where participants played a virtual ball toss game called cyberball. They thought they were playing with real people online, but the other players were computer programs. Midway through the game, the computer stopped passing the ball to the participant, creating artificial social exclusion. Brain scans during this moment revealed activation in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula, the exact same regions that light up when you experience physical pain. But here's where it gets more interesting. The intensity of activation correlated with how distressed people reported feeling. The more rejection hurt emotionally, the more these pain centers lit up. This isn't metaphorical. This is measurable neural overlap. In follow-up studies, researchers gave participants acetaminophen, regular Tylenol, for 3 weeks. The group taking Tylenol reported significantly reduced feelings of social pain and hurt feelings compared to the placebo group. Physical painkillers reduced emotional pain because the brain is processing both through overlapping neural pathways. The researchers also found something crucial about individual differences. People who are more sensitive to physical pain are also more sensitive to social pain. If you have a low pain tolerance physically, you likely have heightened sensitivity to rejection and criticism. This isn't weakness, it's neurological wiring. Some people's pain centers have higher baseline sensitivity, which makes both stubbing your toe and getting ghosted feel more intense. Understanding this removes the shame. You're not being dramatic or oversensitive. Your nervous system is calibrated differently. Not all rejections hurt equally. Some roll off your back. Others haunt you for years. The difference comes down to 3 psychological factors. First, expectation violation. When rejection comes from someone you expected acceptance from, the pain amplifies. If a stranger rejects you, it barely registers. If someone you trusted, someone you were vulnerable with, someone you thought valued you rejects you, your brain interprets it as a massive prediction error. You built a mental model of safety with that person, and rejection shatters it. The emotional impact isn't just about losing them. It's about your entire worldview being proven wrong. Second, identity threat. Rejections that challenge your core identity hit hardest. If you see yourself as competent and you get rejected from a job, it threatens your self-concept. If you see yourself as likable and you get excluded from social events, it attacks your identity. The rejection isn't just an external event. It becomes internal evidence that maybe you're not who you thought you were. This triggers what psychologists call the looking glass self, the idea that we understand ourselves through how others perceive us. When someone rejects you, it's like they're holding up a mirror showing you a version of yourself you don't want to see. Third, helplessness. The rejections that destroy people are the ones where they feel powerless to change the outcome. You applied for your dream job and got rejected. There's nothing you can do now. You confessed feelings and got turned down. The door is closed. You tried to reconcile a relationship and they won't engage. You're stuck. When rejection combines with helplessness, it triggers learned helplessness, a psychological state where you stop trying because you believe your actions don't matter. This is when rejection becomes trauma. Not because of the event itself, but because of the story your brain tells about what it means. Here's what chronic rejection sensitivity does to your life. First, it creates avoidance patterns. If rejection hurts this much, your brain's solution is simple: avoid situations where rejection is possible. Don't put yourself out there. Don't be vulnerable. Don't try for things you might fail at. This is why rejection-sensitive people self-sabotage. They quit before they can be rejected. They push people away before they can be abandoned. They stay small to avoid the risk of being seen and dismissed. The irony is that avoiding rejection guarantees the loneliness you're trying to prevent. Second, rejection sensitivity destroys relationships. When you're hypersensitive to signs of rejection, you start seeing them everywhere. Your partner takes a while to text back. You interpret it as disinterest. Your friend makes plans without you once. You assume they're phasing you out. You're constantly scanning for threats that might not exist, which creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. People sense your insecurity, your need for constant reassurance, your fear of abandonment, and ironically, that neediness pushes them away. The rejection you feared becomes real because of how desperately you tried to prevent it. Third, rejection sensitivity keeps you trapped in people-pleasing. If rejection feels like a physical threat, you'll do anything to avoid it. You'll say yes when you want to say no. You'll suppress your opinions to avoid conflict. You'll mold yourself into whatever version you think others want. But here's the trap. The more you abandon yourself to gain approval, the less authentic connection you create. People aren't connecting with you. They're connecting with the performance you're putting on. And deep down you know it, which creates chronic anxiety that they'll eventually see the real you and reject that version. So you're stuck in a cage of your own making. Alright, let's talk about how to rewire this. You can't eliminate rejection sensitivity entirely because it's hardwired into human neurology, but you can drastically reduce its power over you. Step 1. Separate the event from the meaning. Rejection is an external event. The story you tell about what it means is internal narrative. Someone doesn't want to date you, that's an event. The story, I'm unlovable, is narrative. The event can't be changed, but the narrative can. When rejection happens, catch yourself building catastrophic stories. Ask, what actually happened versus what am I making it mean? Step 2. Exposure therapy for social pain. Just like you can build pain tolerance physically, you can build rejection resilience. Start deliberately putting yourself in low-stakes situations where rejection is possible. Ask for small discounts at stores, pitch ideas in meetings, invite people to hang out. The goal isn't to succeed, it's to survive the no and realize it doesn't destroy you. Each time you experience rejection and keep functioning, you send your nervous system new data. Rejection happened, and I'm still safe. Over time, your alarm system recalibrates. Step 3. Build self-validation systems. The reason rejection hurts is because we outsource our sense of worth to external validation. If you only feel valuable when others approve of you, rejection becomes existential. But if you develop internal standards for self-worth that aren't dependent on others' opinions, rejection loses its power. Create evidence of your value that you control. Keep a document of accomplishments, skills you've built, challenges you've overcome, ways you've helped others. When rejection hits, you have a counter-narrative that isn't dependent on someone else's approval. Step 4. Reframe rejection as information. Most people treat rejection as a verdict on their worth. Reframe it as feedback about fit. Someone doesn't want to date you. That's information about compatibility, not value. A company doesn't hire you. That's information about alignment, not competence. A friend doesn't want to hang out. That's information about their capacity or interests, not your likability. This shift from verdict to information removes the identity threat. You're not being judged and found lacking. You're receiving data about match quality. Here's what changes when you build rejection resilience. First, you start taking risks again. When rejection stops feeling like death, you pursue opportunities you would have avoided. You apply for stretch positions, you approach people you're interested in, you share creative work publicly, you have difficult conversations. The fear is still there, but it's proportional to actual risk instead of catastrophically amplified. This is what separates people who succeed from people who stay safe. It's not that successful people don't face rejection, it's that they've trained their nervous system to survive it without shutting down. Second, your relationships improve dramatically. When you're not desperate for approval, you show up authentically. You say what you actually think. You set boundaries. You're selectively vulnerable instead of performatively perfect. And paradoxically, this makes you more attractive to others. People are drawn to individuals who aren't constantly seeking validation because it signals security and self-worth. The less you need acceptance, the more you receive it. It's one of life's strangest psychological truths. Third, you develop unshakable self-concept. When your identity isn't dependent on external validation, rejection can't destabilize you. Someone thinks you're wrong. Okay, you still know who you are. Someone doesn't value your work. Okay? You still know what you're capable of. Someone doesn't want to be in your life. Okay? You still know your worth. This isn't arrogance or delusion. It's internal coherence. You've built a sense of self that's rooted in your own assessment, not others' opinions. And that foundation is the difference between people who crumble under criticism and people who use it as fuel. Here's the truth about rejection. It's always going to activate your pain centers because that's how your brain is designed. Social pain and physical pain share neural circuitry for evolutionary reasons that made sense 50,000 years ago. But you're not living in a world where rejection equals death anymore. You can survive being unfollowed, ghosted, turned down, criticized, or excluded. The pain is real, but the threat isn't. And once you understand the mechanism, you can stop letting ancient survival programming control your modern life decisions. The people who win aren't the ones who never face rejection. They're the ones who've trained their nervous system to experience rejection without interpreting it as an existential crisis. They feel the pain, acknowledge it, and keep moving. That's not toughness, it's neurological training. This is Prime Theory. We give you the psychology that explains why you feel what you feel so you can stop being controlled by it. Subscribe for weekly breakdowns of the neuroscience behind human behavior. Rejection hurts, but it doesn't have to destroy you. Train your brain, and you become bulletproof. I'll see you in the next one.